All right, here we go. It's time for another 5 minutes. All right, it's time for another 5 minutes. All right, it's time for another 5 minutes. All right, here we go. It's time for another 5 minutes. All right, let's put 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Put 5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes on the clock, and here we go.
At least during this time of the year, during the summer, you always know that baseball is always going to be on TV, and you have something to go home and watch. Right now, there's nothing, and I'm driving myself crazy.
I've been to that many UCLA USC football games during my time having season ticket holders. And so we're going to talk about, the hated rivals, because we're both on the other side of the fence from one another in this topic.
Yeah, that's true. It's amazing we get along.
For all the success Liverpool have had, the European championships they've won, the old trophies, the FA Cup, the League Cup in England, they've never won the Premier League. So I'm not a Liverpool fan at all. But as
Ain't that the truth?
a soccer fan, what's that?
Ain't that the truth?
I know. They're one of those teams you love them or you hate them.
So I know, having done, I went to the Indianapolis 500 a few years ago, and they had a little one you could kind of test out for about 5 minutes, and I crashed every time I pushed the gas pedal down. So I can imagine it's probably a little easier for them.
My favorite memory of him, like all-time game, is his final game. I rewatched that game constantly. He was on fire the last 3 minutes.
Yep, that was the day that he ripped my heart right out of my chest, and I couldn't be mad about it. It seems like this is more of a personal move so much than a professional one. I personally think he moved down there for family reasons. They were in New England. It is cold up there. He's probably had enough of that. Plus, everything hurts in the cold. We know this. Tampa, much warmer climate. Do you think that might have played a factor into the decision?
I think that was part of it. I mean, a lot of people retire, actually, ironically, from the Boston area down into the Florida. But
are mid-majors becoming a feeder system for these Power 5, Power 6 programs in college basketball? That's what's on my mind, Big E. And by the way, you might want to start that 5-minute clock 5 minutes from now, because you know how we go.
Yeah, we needed to change the name of this to an hour and a half, since it's 2.5.
I mean, I've been on old games for a long time, but a lot of people are coming in and watching old games because that's the only thing that's on, unless you like to watch professional athletes play video games, which I'll probably leave on the table. So watching old games is kind of how I'm getting my sports fix.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that video game front. You went to the Immaculate Reception game. What was that experience like?
It looked like it hit Jack Tatum and Frenchie Fuqua at the same time. And the ball bounced back, and Franco Harris ended up with the ball and ran into the end zone. Referees, I saw their arms go up in the air, and then there was a big timeout. And there was probably about a 30 to 45-minute delay before it was actually ruled a touchdown.
Wow.
Having come out of the reality TV world of working over at ABC, there's 4 buckets of programming that we do. The NFL, to me, is the greatest reality show of all time because it's the only thing out there that hits on all 4 of those buckets. It's got the spectacle, it's got the human emotion, it's got the group dynamics, and most of all, it's got the gameplay. And what I'm concerned about is that by adding that 7th playoff team, that you are making it a little less fun to play along, because there's such a dichotomy usually between the terrible teams and the good teams.
If you look at the replay, he was going to get sacked. Mahomes was going to go down. And the referee was standing right there. It was a broken play. I mean, I don't know how much time Mahomes ended up having.
An hour and a half by my count.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so he completed it, and that changed the entire complexion of the game.
Big Al and Otto.
This one's tough for me. There's, I think, a little personal choice behind this. I really just dislike the Otto the Orange. He drives me crazy. He's wearing pants. Right, he's got blue pants, got the blue hat,
yeah.
And what is he going to be able to accomplish outside of cheering? If there's a fight, this elephant wins hands down.
First of all, I find it funny that you just criticize someone who's wearing a blue hat. That's one thing. And all.
We got 4 minutes left to play. My dad looks at me and he says, "Hey, Vince, you want to beat traffic?" I said, "Dad, it's playoffs. You don't leave early." Raquel scores to tie the game up. People were leaving. I was really ashamed. Corey Perry wins it in double overtime. And the greatest experience ever.
It's certainly not as, confident as previous years, but like I say, I've seen him play without Tom before, and you know, so why shouldn't I think it? You know, there wouldn't be any success.
A name that you're pretty familiar with. You probably don't like this name, but Mike Nolan is our new defensive coordinator. He struggled for your San Francisco 49ers as a head coach.
Contrary to popular belief, I loved Mike Nolan. He had a mess of a roster that he had to deal with, and he tried to bring some class back to the organization wearing that suit.